Greetings, beautiful people. Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing I'm actually pretty tired of looking at, especially the reaction of certain people based on either media or social media spreading certain things where they talk about food shortages and whatnot. I'm gonna explain something to you because this is one thing I've noticed even throughout this whole pandemic thing that has been going on. And a little disclaimer, you do what you want with your reality, but just know that you're creating this reality. And people say I create worlds and I'm the god of my reality and whatnot. Well, I mean, this is the world you're creating every day with your thoughts and mentalities and the vibration you put yourself in to actually attract the bullshit that you're actually experiencing every day in your life, if it is bullshit that you're experiencing and not what you actually want to experience. Now, one thing to take into account here is this. This is what I notice humans do. When you get told of a news feed that there's going to be a shortage of something, you go and buy more of it. You know what I'm saying? So let's say, for example, there is a food shortage. Okay, what is the first things people want to do? Go and buy more food. You know what I'm saying? If there is a food shortage, okay, then eat less. You know what I'm saying? But shortage doesn't mean there's more, so you go buy more. Shortage means there's not enough, or there's just not a lot going around for everybody. So the people who actually want to go out and literally go and hoard all the food, they don't have the mentality of keeping other families in mind, that other families might be hungry because they took way too much and whatnot. They're not the only one with kids. Now, there are websites though that actually promote food for let's say 3 years worth of supply of food, and it has a 25-year shelf life. You get what I'm saying? So this is what people now go running to buy. Now, if there was a food shortage, okay, would that even be there if there was an actual food shortage? That's for one. For two, here's the second thing though, and very important. I noticed that these food companies that actually promote, give me 1 second. No, give me 1 second. I'll be right there. These companies that promote these doomsday meals that are prepackaged, it's basically they're always going to say, and pay attention to this, it's always going to say they have been sold out for a very long time. They're always sold out, but they finally back in stock. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because it creates that sense of urgency. It's just how marketing works. So the public is going to say, oh yeah, and it's non-GMO. You know what I'm saying? Non-GMO, yet it has a 25-year shelf life. Like, what food has a 25-year shelf life? You know what I'm saying? It also says tastes like real food because it is real food, right? Now, if it was real food, it wouldn't have a 25-year shelf life. There had to be things that were added for it to have a 25-year time span, okay? Now, another thing I want to cover is that nobody can really kill you, and we do have free will to the extent that if you don't want to get your vaccine, for example, you don't have to go get it, okay? But don't think that through certain things labeled a certain thing, okay? Because let's say if there is a pandemic, right, and there's a food shortage due to the pandemic, the fact that they label the foods doomsday food, okay, or doomsday meal prep, I don't even know what they fucking call it, like for patriots or some shit like that. You must understand that there could be ingredients in there that can actually mimic what the actual vaccine would do to you on a cellular level. Now, the reason I say this is this. I mean, look, I worked in the bodybuilding industry for a long time, and I can tell you that there's oral steroids and then there's injectable steroids. So the same way you can get results from either oral or injectables, it's the same thing. If they wanted something in your system, you could do it through the food. Now, they can't poison the actual food you buy in the supermarket. But if something's labeled doomsday, labeled as that, then in my opinion, okay, because it is labeled that, you have to understand that because of the pandemic, there's a food shortage. Now, because of the pandemic, there's a food shortage. There's also the demand for people to get vaccinated, right? And this is all bullshit, by the way, but all for the sake of conversation. Now people have to, there's a mandate for people to get vaccinated to get rid of the pandemic, right? Or to minimize this pandemic. But they also said the majority of humans must be vaccinated in order for this to, take a U-turn. So because of the virus, there's a pandemic, the results would be to get vaccinated. So if you don't want to get vaccinated, right, through your ignorance, you're still going and purchasing something, like consuming something that is a cause of the pandemic. So because of that, they say we're going to add ingredients in here to mimic what it is that would be in the pandemic. I mean, in the vaccine. Now, the reason I say this is this. See, you think that when you're in jail, they feed you the same food that people go eat in the supermarkets? No. They put stuff in food for the inmates or people that are in jail because, you know, it shuts their sex drive down. It also makes them more docile or whatnot, or whatever other things may be. I haven't done my research on that, but it's things that I've heard. You know what I'm saying? And things that I've actually came across as I was doing research. I didn't do deep research into it. But there are certain ingredients in the particular food that they feed inmates in jail. Okay? So, with that being said, when you go and you really think about it, you're in a mental jail when you put yourself in a mental jail. If you keep your mind open, okay, and you're visualizing, because people say, I pray. Well, when you pray, right, you're literally visualizing, right? And who is the one visualizing? You're the embodiment of God. So you visualize, right? There's going to be obstacles in between that's going to kind of have you second guessing if what you actually prayed for will come into play, right? But this is where deep belief and faith, the way religious folks have such deep belief and faith in the external source of Jesus Christ and God and all that, then you should have faith in the fact that if you realize your reality a certain way through visualizations, then there is no way it cannot come into fruition. You plant the seed, you're going to get something that comes out of it if you know what you are planting, right? So everywhere that you look, everything is basically created by you, all right? Everything that you're experiencing was created by you. Now, when you start to separate the ego, okay, from the actual reality of what is actually going on, is actually going on as far as the stories that you're told, the waves that you want to ride, you know what I'm saying? The people that you talk to, the things you're intermingling with or even listening to. You have to understand that there's, you know, two waves that come into contact with each other are basically, it's called wave entanglement, okay? And you can either have a constructive way of looking at that or a destructive way of looking at that, where they both cancel themselves out, okay? Harmonious waves build. Now, if you look at how nature works in harmony, okay? Your body works in harmony. That's true love, you know what I'm saying? There's a song going on that is building and creating harmony, a frequency of regeneration and growth, not degeneration, okay? Neutrality is basically what you are, nature, natural. Nature, the word neutral comes from natural. Natural is nature, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm not telling you what to do. If you want to go buy doomsday prep meals, you can do that. However, being a service to humanity, okay, is going to be basically putting out the vibes that you want to see, being the change you want to see, all right, emitting the frequency that you want to receive back, okay? So if I'm putting out a frequency of me telling everybody I'm buying doomsday meals and I'm preparing for a food shortage, this is the waves that I'm riding. This is the frequency that I am emitting. And I'm expecting that reality in turn. Okay? Everybody's going to have their own opinion about this whole thing. And you're entitled to. I'm also open-minded to everything that everybody says and is doing. However, you can see where things are actually coming from. You know what I'm saying? Stay still. When things happen, just stay still. Why are you moving so much? Why are you see, you work so hard to make money to then give it back to the system because they told you a story that they're I mean, I have plenty of food. I'm not experiencing a food shortage. So why would I go and buy more food? You get what I'm saying? Why would I do that? Now, if there were to occur something like that, which is highly unlikely, but if it were, I mean, what are you doing about it? Instead of, you see, you're doing what you normally do, which is go buy food in supermarkets anyway. Why don't you master what you can actually grow? You see, I'm becoming a master of growing melons because it's what I'm enjoying growing. I've already grown a bunch of things last year, but this year I kind of narrowed it down to what I'm actually eating the most of. Grapes, melons, and berries. My son likes it. I like it. My wife likes it. I mean, we're all enjoying it. We do go buy the food in the supermarket. Yeah, I mean, there's stuff that we eat. We're still cooking. But if it came down to it, then eat less. Or just don't move. Trust in the process. Visualize your reality. The fact is that when you're sick, you get fearful, you start to pray, and it shuts your immune system down. You go to an external source of a doctor, and all he does is kill you, because this is actually a fact. The leading cause of deaths, number 1 being cancer, number 3 being cancer, number 2 being cardiac disease. Number 1, the leading cause is illnesses being treated by doctors. How crazy is that? You know what I'm saying? How crazy is that? I'm going to link a video in the description that I would like you guys to check out, because it is actually a very, very, very interesting video where if you put your antennas up and listen to it, okay, and you self-empower yourself, all right, you can actually experience a different reality. And this is basically a fact, okay? So don't fall for stories, because this happens with gas. Oh, there's a gas shortage. Now all of a sudden there's a line 3 blocks down for people to go get gas. And then they come from other states to fill up these fucking huge ass barrels. And then when gas goes back to normal, they have all this gas. You get what I'm saying? The toilet paper, same shit. All and people actually try to make a business out of it. So you have to understand the way the medical industry works. The medical industry works on a profit. They work on a profit mentality. You see, it's not in their best interest to let you know how to properly heal yourself, because they make money off of you from you not knowing. You get what I'm saying? So you have to understand something. Let's say with information, let's say with anything else in life, are you managing your reality in that same way? Because the thing is, when I share information, I do it in a sense where I'm being very mindful, as if I was sharing something with my child that's going to help him grow up and get better as he gets older. You know what I'm saying? I'm not expecting anything back from him. I'm just looking out for him. So I'm looking out for people. I don't really care for the views. I don't really care for the, you know, the comments or anything like that. But at the end of the day, how are you managing your reality for you to be experiencing this reality in this way? Because nobody exists out here. I'm the only one that's here. And in turn, you're in the same exact boat. It's just one consciousness fractalized into all the pieces that we're experiencing right now. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're ignorant to it, it's still going to happen to you. But the ignorance is not putting your attention there. If you're aware of something, yeah, you're aware of it. But the next step is, are you reacting or are you just being proactive? But the proactive part ain't in participating in the system, more or less buying more doomsday food. You know what I'm saying? Because it's no different than toilet paper being gone. You could have just went into the shower and washed your ass if let's say there was no more toilet paper. Let's say toilet paper was gone. You still have the option to go into the shower and wash your ass. You know what I'm saying? If there is no gas, don't go to work. Don't go in. Let's say gas completely went out and nobody was able to get gas. That would not be sustainable for this system, right? So what do you stay home? No, you have to go to work. I have to go to the store. You don't have to do shit. Just stay still. And you watch how they'll bend the knee to you rather than you bending the knee to them. There's a food shortage. Start growing your own shit. And I'm not telling you to be a slave to the land, because there's a big difference between having a tool and having a tool work for you, like the garden, or being a slave to the garden. But being a slave to the garden is you going and fucking trying to make a profit out of the garden, which is now not gardening. Now it's just called farming. Okay? Farming. I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, life is a gift. Life is beautiful. The fact that you're here, it's a beautiful experience. I rewatched the Judy K. King video on the phage lambda, and I'm gonna make another video on that for the viruses and all that, because I've came down to a lot of realizations as well, and it has a lot to do with evolution, man. I mean, it's evolution. And where is your consciousness? Are you that concreted into your vessel that you cannot get out and look at the bigger picture of things because you're looking at it from just this perspective or perception? Because let's say what you see in movies, flying, breaking through walls, and all these emotions, you are actually doing it in a non-physical way. But in this physicality, just look at yourself as Clark Kent. But when the time comes, you got to take the glasses off, and you got to take the suit and tie off. You know what I'm saying? And wear your uniform. See, whatever that may mean to you. My uniform, I'm already inside an Iron Man suit. The Iron Man suit talks to me, but it is not controlling me. I control the suit. It gives me suggestions, right? When the Iron Man suit gets damaged, it's letting Tony Stark know multiple contusions detected. Yeah, Jarvis, I see it. We're gonna get, right? So, one thing I could tell you is that, use this analogy too. I mean, if you're in a car, right? I'm inside a vehicle right now, and I can see my reality outside, but I'm looking at it through a windshield, right? The car, once I turn it on, and you're driving, and you see somebody driving reckless on the road, man, look at that fucking car, man. That guy is driving so fucking... You say that car is driving reckless, or the guy is driving reckless? You know what I'm saying? The car is being controlled by a driver inside. So right now, you are the driver inside this vehicle. How are you driving this vehicle? But when you drive a car, you should be able to get in and out of your vehicle, right? When you get into road rage, right? And you pull over and you have the tendency to fight with people, you're not going to fight. The cars ain't going to run into each other. You get out of the car and you fight, right? So when you talk to people, do you directly talk to the source, the energy source of where they're coming from? Or are you just talking to their ego, the shell of what you portray or perceive them to be? I mean, I'm probably going all over it with this video. But anyway, if I got anything else, I'll share it in another video. But like, share, and subscribe, and we'll talk soon.